the homes, they're all far away. So rather, she should make phone calls to a number which we note down as a contact number when the child comes to school. And today, believe me, a lot of poor people in the country have mobiles. If you study the statistics, if they don't have, maybe a relative of theirs has, some neighbor has. So that is how we ensure that the parents are taught. The attendance is as beautiful as 15 to 20% on parent-teacher meetings. But now we have got an attendance of less than 50%, but upward of 40%.
So it's getting better at a gradual rate.
And it gets better as they see their children going back home and talking, reciting something, doing some homework. Then on their own the parents will say, "बच्चा जाके कुछ सीखता है, आके notebook मांगता है, बताता है ये क्या है, क्या है." Then the parents feel that yes, what we could not do, my child.
And what are living conditions do these families have?
See, they are not aware of what are the good living conditions.
No, but do they live in slums or?
No, they have a house which is generally built of stone, mud, and thatched roofs, sometimes tiles. But in most villages now, there are even concrete houses. Concrete in the sense, brick and walls. They may have a roof which is probably asbestos, or these days you have steel plates.
Right.
They have a roof of that, but they now have proper buildings. They may not have a toilet in the house, or they may not have a toilet at all, but they may go out. Now the government is taking steps in that direction. It will take another 10 years for every house to have a toilet. That's not a big problem when we talk of education, but schools must have a toilet, because a girl child cannot go home if she has to go to school. Boys can go anywhere, that's not a big problem. But now the government does not give recognition to a school unless they have proper toilets. So that has made it mandatory for all schools to have toilets. So that problem is taken care of. Coming back to houses, you said, I once said that. But still the academic atmosphere is lacking. For parents not being aware of what education is, they don't know themselves.
Yeah. Right.
So that atmosphere has to be created at home. So luckily what is happening in most villages now is there is somebody or the other in every village who has gone up to 12th standard. Maybe have completed graduation also. But most villages have children or students or people who have completed 12th standard. They may not have studied further, they may not have got a job. So what is the best job for them?
Peons. They take up jobs as peons or
No, they do teaching,
they teach.
tuitions.
But even a 10th, I've come across students who are in the 10th grade and they still can't converse with you. So
No,
how do
they
they
can teach ABCD. They can teach ABCD, they can teach AI, they can read alphabet, but they are past 10th, but they have appeared for exams. So that is the second source of teachers in the village. But in places where parents don't have knowledge of what their child is learning, so they entrust that person to their.
But these parents aren't aware about the need for education either. So why would they send their kids to?
They are aware of education now because they are sending to a school.
Right.
And the child is showing some signs that he's learning. So the parent gets confused. Now I will teach him a little more. So how do I teach him a little more? When I go to the fields, he will be doing wrong things around the house. So I better not take him to the field, rather keep him behind with the tuition teacher.
So they are aware to that extent.
Yes, the tuition teacher may be getting average like 100 rupees a month, or even 50 rupees a month. But for that tuition teacher, it's a source of income.
Right.
And for the next 4-5 hours or maybe 3 hours, that child is in the tuition teacher room or around that place, maybe playing for 2 hours and learning for 1 hour. But he is constantly in an atmosphere of learning. Playing does not happen only by sitting in the classroom. It happens in an atmosphere of learning where there are children, students, a teacher who is monitoring, though remotely, distantly, teaching few students nearby him and keeping an eye on what the others are doing. That also helps in teaching Now, it may not be as per what happens in city schools or city tuitions and things like that, where there are organized classrooms where you sit in the classroom and digital teaching or more. But still some learning happens. And over a period of time, maybe 4 or 5 years, when the child comes up to 3rd, 4th, 5th standard, the child starts taking interest. For various reasons. For the fear of the classroom, कल बाकी के सामने, when the teacher asks a question, I may not be able to answer. That fear is there.
So knowing that they cannot fail a grade, they still take interest.
See, grades and they are failing is not because they should not study. It's because they should not come under stress. That is the reason. There are a lot of suicides in the country.
I get it, but
When a
that
child
is,
after exams.
but that we know as older people.
Who is
the kids
responsible for
don't.
that? That the children don't know and they fail. Who is responsible for that?
The teacher.
Teachers. The government school teachers are not there in most schools. There are just one teacher for 5 classes. If there are more, 2 will not come, 1 will come. For certain days, and that's the status of this country. One of the reasons why I took primary education was because when I was teaching in a big business school of this country, SP Jain Institute of Management Studies, I realized that teaching postgraduate students is no big deal, and especially in prestigious business schools. The real need of the country is for primary education, which is pathetic. And pathetic to an extent where thousands of crores are spent. For example, let me give you statistics. BMC Mumbai spends 2,700 crores every year. How much?
2700.
2,700 crores every year. That is the budget for municipal schools of Mumbai alone.
So where does the money go?
That's exactly what I'm saying. So the government is spending lots of amount of money all over the country. You can understand just from Mumbai's figures, what must be the figure all over the country. Not only on education, they are spending money on giving them extra freebies. Now they are coming up a new fad where they are giving what we call like tablets, which are being distributed all over the country to most of the schools run by the government. Now when that sort of money is being spent, you are not getting the desired results in schools. And that is why I took the decision that in some small way, let me do something which is actually beneficial to the education system of this country. I still lecture all over the business schools in the country. I'm invited for big seminars, like the CIS seminar I just did 2 days back. I went to Bangalore, went in the morning, came back in the afternoon because I'm not in a position to stay longer in a place. So I do give seminar and do lecture at seminars and called for roundtable conferences by IIMs. A few days back I was at a business school in Borivali, new business school called Aditya Business School.
Yeah.
I was there. Likewise, Relica calls, Bajaj calls, lots of institutes. So I still continue to upgrade my knowledge in the field of management education. But I prefer to teach or provide facilitation for primary schools. Because I can see the results of a good school being managed by people who know how to take it further. In my school, we have achieved those results. And believe me, I am not there in those schools because they are far away from me. But every function, whichever it be, apart from the regular curriculum, every function, whether it is Teachers' Day, whether it is Independence Day, whether it is what the Janmashtami, Ganesh Chaturthi, Eid, whatever function, is celebrated for a few hours, maybe 1 hour, 2 hours, and awareness about various things, like there are other religions. There may be only 5 students who are Muslims in your class, but they celebrate Eid. What is Janmashtami? The significance of Janmashtami. All that is being taught on the days when it is celebrated in the rest of the schools of the country. And some of the top schools do celebrate it today with a lot of fanfare. They have children children coming up dressed on that day, in that mood, all that happens in the school. Why? Because we know that that's how it is being done in other places. Why should the village children be deprived of it?
Right.
And that's the way we make them learn. We don't have to actually conduct in the classroom that Janmashtami is this day and this day. You dress up like Krishna, you dress up like Radha. There's a pot which is designed to say that this carries dahi. It may not have dahi, but then this has to be broken. So that's what the children do. That's how they are told what Janmashtami is. That's learning.
Right.
And learning in its real form.
Experiential learning.
It will not be learning English, but that it is celebrated in this way that there was somebody called Krishna, who according to Hindu religion is probably the one who is responsible for writing the Bhagavad Gita. Over a period of time, children complete, 5-6 years. Somebody wrote it, but he was the key person because of Arjuna and Krishna. So that's how. What is Quran? We may not have read the Quran, neither will all read. But there is a book called Quran with the Muslims. There is a festival called the recent one, Bakrid, where they have to slaughter. Whether it is right or wrong, we leave it to the imagination of the children and their parents. Whether they should be slaughtered or sacrificed or not is not our judgment. So we do celebrate all the functions. And we are also embarking on other things like non-formal education. Formal education is only for the classroom, but non-formal, for example, I teach ABCD in a nursery class. You will be surprised to know that if you go to any school in this country and you ask first standard students and their teachers, without being negative about their your asking, what A stands for? You know what will be the answer? Apple. What else it stands for? Huh? Aeroplane. What else it stands for? Go on asking. The students as well as the teachers. You will find that after 3 pictorial objects, they may not have any more which comes spontaneously. He can fetch another 2, 3, but beyond 6 they don't have an answer. What is the reason for it? Our education system, our teachers who have taught us in the past. We teach them at least 10 pictorial items. And what is the method? The method is very simple. A teacher is told on a particular day, just look at anything around you. For example, I can look at this, what do you call this, flat screen. You may find 3-4 things on it. If the child says, what is that? The teacher should be able to answer it in the mother tongue of the child or her own mother tongue and say what it is. But if you look at that, what can you see from there? You can see a wire, you can see a black portion. You can see probably something where it is fixed. You can see a border to it. You can see anything. If you look at a door, you can see a frame. You can see the main door itself, which for the shutter. You can see a latch. So many things. If the child says, I want to know what this is, the teacher should be able to answer that. If she doesn't know in English, she should go back home or in the school and look at a dictionary and find out. What happens because of that? The teacher's knowledge gets upgraded first and then the children. Second part, the child becomes inquisitive to find out what next. And that quality you can only sow in the child. You can't make it grow. So a child can become inquisitive on his own. And that is what answers your question. Up to 8, that is the period where...
So that is the teacher's job. The teacher has to be able to do that.